Hi girls, welcome back to another episode of Girls Who Get It. I'm your host Memphis, and today we're going to be talking about confidence. Now, I want to talk about this because I feel that there is a lot of information out there that's given to us about the actions that we take to be more confident, to appear more confident, to look more confident. This episode is dedicated to all the things mentally and all the things that you need to work on inwards or recognize inwardly about yourself that are going to help you increase your confidence and have confidence on a level that's more concurring, where you're not going up and down with it depending on your moods. Overall, give you more of a confidence booster. So I hope you enjoy this episode. Let's get into it. Now, I was writing down some things in my diary about, or my notepad, about the idea of confidence and what it actually is. And I know, because I watch a lot of social media, and I'm sure that we all do, that confidence is a really massive talking point. And everybody's always, you need to be more confident. You just do this, show this, and everything's going to be better. But at the end of the day, even when you are doing the actions behind somebody to appear more confident, it is so much deeper than that, and it's something that is internal that needs to be worked on in order for you to get to that level. And I can honestly express that overall, I would tell you that I'm a confident person. But for me, my confidence, it goes in waves, up and down. So if I'm having a good day where I'm feeling really energetic and feeling really happy, I'll be more likely to be more confident. And then when I'm having days where I'm not feeling the best, I will second guess myself and I won't be as confident. So I want this episode to be for you ladies that if you are like me and you do feel that you struggle with confidence, I want this to be something for you to think about and also give you 10 points of things that you really need to work on or work through in order to actually be more confident and not just be the kind of person that takes actions but then realizes, hey, I'm doing the actions that they've told me are going to make me feel more confident, but it's actually not working. Because inside, if you're not feeling confident about yourself, then taking action and acting confident is doing fuck all. Now, I know there is that line where they say, fake it to make it, fake it to make it. And yes, I do believe that as well. But I honestly overall believe that there will be a point where fake it to make it can come into it, but you don't want to be faking it. I mean, if confidence is something that you can work towards, why not work towards it? Because otherwise, like you said, you can fake it, you can act it, but is it really going to get you to that point where you can say wholeheartedly, I am a confident person? So let's get into some talking points about confidence, how it shows up for us, and what we can actually do to be more confident in our day-to-day lives. Now, something that is really important when we're looking at confidence is not waiting for that self-assurity and that inner voice to always be telling us you're confident. Now's the moment. If we're always going to be looking for that confirmation that's showing up for us that we are confident, it's never going to happen, because the confirmation comes after you do the work. Tell me this, and this is me to a T, is that I'll be scared to do something. I will work myself up about it to you think of all the worst things in your mind. It's consistently spiraling, but then you do the thing, and then automatically from that action, you feel so much more confident. And that is the thing, is that you can't wait for the right time. You can't wait for a signal. You can't wait for confirmation from other people. What you need to be doing is teaching your mind that you have control. So let your body do the actions first, and then it will give confirmation to your mind that you are a confident person. Now, I know it's difficult because lack of confidence, there are so many different aspects to it, like I feel. And one of the things that really has crossed my mind a lot when I'm thinking about this is that, where did you get your idea of confidence from? Like, where did that actually come from? I know, for example, think about people, say, for example, if you're not somebody that growing up you were like filled with confidence that you can do anything you want, anything is possible for you. If you weren't somebody that was given that a lot of the time the confidence that you had comes from your parents or comes from the adults that were around you growing up. And I'd love to know, I'd be really interested if other people feel this way. But I know for a fact that like I have seen friends, family members, blah, 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 where they have had parents that are like, you can do whatever the fuck you want all the time. And that really instills confidence in you from a very young child. Like I know for a fact, my partner, his parents were always like, you can do anything you fucking want. And he is a confident person, but that gave him that additional aura of being super, super confident. So what I'm saying to you is that when you're defining confidence, or if I was to ask you, who do you think in your life is the most confident person you know, and what are the traits that person actually has that makes you think, fuck, they are super confident? Think about those, but also think about what has in the beginning defined confidence for you as a person. Is there a specific person that you look up to? Is it something that was ingrained in you from a really young age? Is it something that or is it a situation where you're confident in certain areas because you're good at it and not confident in areas that you're not good at? Because that for me is the way that I feel. If we're talking about something that I've done heaps and heaps, like you're talking about training at the gym or, talking about having really good structure and really good routine. I'm really confident in that because I've done it for so long that I'm really, really good at it. But then when it comes to things that I haven't done before, my confidence lacks because I haven't given myself, I don't have the data to say, I can do that. I'm really good at it. But one thing that I would recommend that you think about when we're talking about that is that think about those things. Think about the things that you are confident in, and think about the fact that you started from zero in those things as well. And you've gotten yourself to a point where you've become confident with it because of repetition. You've done it over time. You know what you're doing. So when you are doing something or going into a task or an action or an environment or something that you haven't done before and you're not feeling confident about it, go back and remind yourself about all of the times that you've done something, started it, and now you're at a point where you're super, super confident with it. Because that is something that's going to help your brain understand, yes, we've done this before, we can do this again. It's basically the idea that it's like when we go into something new, we act as though, or we think as though we've never done anything new before and never started anything new before. But it's not the case at all. So you're obviously not going to be a magician and be, the most amazing person that you can be in something that you've never done before. But just remind yourself of all the times that you've done really, really great things, started from scratch, and where you are now if you do feel confident in other areas of your life. Now, this leads me to my next point, is that maybe, is there a possibility that you don't have low confidence at all, but you just have super, super high surveillance with yourself? Are you the kind of person that second guesses yourself, constantly overthinks everything that you do? When you go back and you write a text message 3 times and then you keep deleting it and you're doing it again, you're constantly judging yourself. And those actions are the kind of actions that are going to not give you confidence because you're second guessing yourself all of the time. So when we're looking at confidence, like I know for me, I believe that this is something that I do quite often because I do second guess myself. So then I'm like, am I confident? Am I not confident? I'm not really too sure. But it's basically that fact of when it comes to things that I'm not 100% sure of, I'm not confident in them. But overall, I have the energy and the emphasis of being a confident person, wanting to be a confident person. But think about the fact that when you do that, when you go back and you second guess yourself constantly and you rehash things over and over in your mind, you're giving yourself that self-doubt, and it's a fucking hard feeling to sit with because there's no reason that you need to be constantly second guessing yourself all of the time. And I do my own head in with it, because yes, there are so many, different outcomes that can come from different choices and blah, blah, blah. And, you're always one choice away from a different life. But when it comes to those day-to-day little decisions where it's like, what am I going to have for breakfast? Or, am I going to leave work at 7 or 7:15? Like those kind of things. It's just like, it's very deep to think that all of those little micro decisions that you second guess yourself with can turn into a giant wave of you not having confidence in yourself. And I know, like, for me talking about this now, it's like I'm like right now thinking about all the things and all the little micro actions that I take that reiterate that fact of not being confident in yourself, in me. And I'm like, why do I do that? So when you're looking at confidence, and if you are trying to become more confident, that would be something that I believe you should work on. And I know I'm going to work on this myself, is that not turning every little decision into a constant like back and forth, flip flop, like don't know where I'm going with this, because that is relaying to your brain that you're not confident about things. You're not confident about making a decision. You're not confident about taking quick action on things. And that at the end of the day, when it comes down to really small decisions, turns into something giant, because it gives you that aura and that energy of you're not confident. You don't trust the choices that you make. You don't know if you're making the right decision, because when you're in a position where you are truly, truly confident, this is what I believe, is that when it comes to making decisions, you will be in a strict mindset of, if I make a decision, it's the right decision, because I'm confident in myself. At the end of the day, if you know that you are a person that believes what you say and does what you says and have that kind of energy and aura about you, then if you make a mistake or it turns out the decision that you make is wrong, you're not going to care. You're not going to give a fuck, because overall you're going to be so confident with yourself and your ability to move on, get through it, move forward and not have to worry about it, that it's not going to be an issue that sits with you. Like, imagine going through your day and just every time you have a decision that comes forward to you, you're like, yep, bam, yep, bam. Like, how much more confidence is that going to give you in yourself if that is the kind of person that you are? Because I know for me, that is exactly what I'm working towards, because the wave of comes and ups and downs and highs and lows and feeling happy, feeling confident, not feeling as happy, not feeling as confident it's a mental shit show. And it's annoying. Like, it's annoying on such a deep level. It's just like, and it leaves you like questioning, why am I like this? Like, why can't I just make a fucking decision? And that really leads me back to my previous episode that I did about making decisions and making quick decisions, because making quick decisions is leading to more confidence, stronger confidence. So overall, as a person, I would say to you that if you are unable to make quick decisions, that you are not 100% confident in yourself and your abilities. And it takes one to know one, and that's why I'm saying that. Now, this leads me to my next point. Outsourcing your confidence. If you are relying on other people to give you confidence, then you're never gonna get there. Never. You're never gonna get there. I know when I was young, that validation from other people made me confident, because it gives you that hit of endorphins and you feel happy. And, when someone validates what you're thinking or validates what you're saying, and you're like, oh, I'm so confident with my answer because somebody else agreed with me. But at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. This can happen to you at any age. You know what I mean? I don't think it's one of those things where it's like, you have to be like, once you get to 30, because you speak to people these days and it's just like, I believe we're in a generation where there is so much more emphasis put on your self-help, mental health, the way that your thoughts create your environment. And also I believe that the parents that have young children in this day and age are a lot more hyper aware of that, and they're actually teaching that to their children a lot more. Like, I'm a 90s baby. I don't feel like we got the same treatment I think we're more from the generation where our parents were like, mental health doesn't exist. And we were just like, okay then. And now we've got fucking mental health problems. And like everybody's like, I've got anxiety, I've got depression, I've got ADHD. And look, but lo and behold, majority of us do. My take on that whole thing is that we're in a situation now where it's like every second person is claiming that. And look, that's probably because the way that it is portrayed out into the world is easy for people to look at something, and everyone wants to label themselves when they see something and they're like, oh, I do that. That's me. Like the amount of videos that I watch on YouTube, TikTok, on social media where they're explaining ADD or ADHD or autism, and I'm like, I do so many of those things. But do I look at myself and think that I have like ADD or I'm autistic? No, I do not, because I feel that that is something that when you speak to people that truly, truly, truly struggle with that, I look at them and I'm like, I don't feel that kind of pain or difficulty in myself. So I feel that the world is a weird place now with a lot of labels. And it's very hard because everybody's just trying to find their place and everybody's just trying to be accepted and find their community. But also I feel that it comes down to everybody's just trying to understand themselves. And that's hard. So that's another reason why I've created this community, is because everybody wants to feel accepted and everybody wants to feel like somebody relates to them or somebody gets them. So if I can do this and this podcast is doing that for you, then I want to say, hey, I hear you. Well, you hear me. So I hope this is helping. But look, yeah, it's really about that back to what I was saying, looking for validation from other people to give you confidence is not going to last forever. Because what happens the moment that someone questions you or doesn't agree with what you're saying, then that's another spiral where someone validates us, we feel great. Someone disagrees with us or they don't believe in what we're saying, then we're down back where we started, and it's just a vicious cycle. So never do I want to go back to being that kind of person that needs somebody else to validate me, because the mental angst that it gives you and the mental spiral that it sends you on, the emotional roller coaster of it, is deeply disheartening. And it's something where you can really sit in a situation where you feel validated and then you go down and then you're looking for that validation again. And then that to me is where you are usually acting or, seeking validation from others to a point where you will get so desperate emotionally that you will do things or say things or act in a way that is not actually you, just because you want somebody to validate you. And that I know from experience, like when I was younger, I was 100% that kind of person. And I was really good at reading people, and I still am, and that is obviously matured as I have matured. But where you're looking for that validation, or you're looking for that positive, hand up, and you know exactly how to get it. But what you're doing to actually receive that is not in alignment, is not really who you are. And look, you can go and do that all fucking day, but you're going to be on a mental, emotional roller coaster with it. You're always going to be acting, and then you'll get to a point where you realize that everybody around you that's been giving you that positive validation doesn't actually know you, doesn't actually understand you as a person, and you haven't been yourself at all. So then you just feel like down and out because you're like, no one understands me. I feel misunderstood. Well, would you rather put yourself forward as the person that you truly are and have people dislike you or, misjudge you or whatever, but be like, this is who I am, take it or leave it? Or would you rather be somebody who's constantly showing up as who you think people want you to be to get that fake positive validation and then realize that no one gets you? Because I know from me when I was young, I think that's a lot of what I did was I sought that validation knowing how to get it, but then realizing that you feel empty as fuck because nobody gets you, and then you're like, I feel misunderstood. Well, it's really easy for people to misunderstand you if you misrepresent yourself. So that's something that I would really ask you to think about when you think about yourself being a confident person, because behind those actions that you hear so often about how to show up confident, how to be confident, say this to be confident, act like this to be confident, those kinds of things are an outward expression which can be taught and used by anyone to appear confident. But that is why I have done this episode, because I want you to understand that the internal and the emotional thoughts and feelings behind being a confident person are far more important than the action. Because when you have those emotions and feelings and you are truly confident and happy with yourself on the inside, the actions of a confident person can be whatever the fuck you want them to be, because you're confident. So, you know what I mean? When you think about people that you know in your life that are confident, they don't all act the exact same. They don't all, but inside of them, they have a deep moral code that they themselves commit to, and they are authentic. You can't tell me that anybody that you know is not authentic, and maybe not authentic in the way that you would perceive authenticity. But if someone is openly and honestly and truly and upfront themselves and they're being authentic, they're going to be so much more confident, because that's where confidence comes from. Confidence comes from being yourself and not portraying or wearing a mask or acting as if to have other people like you. And when we're talking about people liking you, it's that confidence is not thinking that you're amazing. It's basically being okay with the possibility that you're not, or that people don't think that you are. Because I think that is a trap that we have a lot, where it's like, if I'm confident, everybody's going to think I'm amazing and everybody's going to think I'm great. No, they're not. But at least you're going to think you're great. I know, for example, there is plenty of confident people that I see on social media that I don't think they're that great. Like, everybody wears a different outfit. Everybody is their own person. They're very unique, and that is the beauty of everybody. And that will always be one of my personal thoughts and beliefs, is that I love that everybody is unique and I love that everybody is different. I have so much respect for anybody that's super confident, but I'm not going to sit here and say that every single person that I see that is confident I like. No. Because some people are crazy. Some people are psychotic, but they're still confident. You know what I mean? Some people are like just absolute idiots, but they're still confident. And at the end of the day, like, good on you. Good on you for being yourself. I will never judge somebody for being themselves, because confidence can come in so many different aspects, and that is the thing. But if someone is truly and authentically okay with themselves and okay to put themselves out into the universe or put themselves out into the world and have other people judge them as they are, that is confidence. And it doesn't matter if you don't agree with what they're saying or what they're doing or how they're acting, because if you don't have that trait of being authentic and confident, that is something that you would look at in them that you would want for yourself. And that's where I find that's where a lot of judgment comes in around people that do portray themselves as confident. It's like, what you judge others for is usually something that is lacking deep within yourself. You see it everywhere, especially with people on social media, because there is a certain kind of confidence that comes from having to put yourself out there on social media. And people with just people in general, I suppose, you don't even have to have a large following. But my girlfriend was talking about this during the week, is about all of the hatred and the judgment on TikTok. Now, for me personally, when I first started this, I was like, oh, TikTok is going to be, it's going to be my place. It's going to be the one. And I will post on there. I don't spend too much time just overall on there. And the accounts that I do follow are really in alignment with, what I'm trying to do. People that are usually like women that are all about, entrepreneurs and like doing things for themselves and, being happy and just overall being a good person, being successful, like all of those things. But she was talking about the amount of hate and judgment that there is on TikTok. And I was really thinking about it when she posted a video about it. And I was like, I've seen it before, the amount of hate and judgment on TikTok. And it's usually people that have fake accounts. They're not even real. They don't even have profile photos, but they're on there judging people, calling them idiots, and just, the worst kind of things. And it's just like, that's a very good example of people that are not confident, but they want to judge other people that are confident. And somebody that I know that is really confident and gets judged a lot, I like her. I wouldn't say I agree with everything that she says, but because she is such a confident person, I think she's fucking pretty interesting, and I think she's pretty cool. And that would be Abby Chatfield, because that girl gets judged so incredibly harshly, but she's always herself and she always shows up as herself. So at the end of the day, no one should be judging anybody or talking negatively or down about anyone, but especially people that go out of their way to make people and put people down. It's just like, I tell you what, you 100% find that person, hunt them down on TikTok. That person doesn't have any confidence in themselves. That's why they go around and pick on people that do, because that trait that they see in other people is something that they wish that they had within themselves. So if you think about this, and I hope that nobody does this that's following me, but you know what? I know I used to be a judgmental person, especially when I was younger. And it took a lot of self growth. It just took maturing, really, to realize that. And when you hear this over and over and over again, and then you really think about it, it's that, like, whenever you look at someone and you judge them critically or you judge them harshly, is it because the trait that they have is actually something that you're lacking and you're judging them for that because you don't have that, and that's something that you're seeking? So that's something to be really mindful of when we are looking at confident people, is that it's not about being a certain way or acting in a certain way or doing anything like that. It's about defining what does or what would being confident mean to you. Who are people that you genuinely look at that you know are confident, but that are also in alignment with the type of person that you want to be? And what are the traits that they portray that you say to yourself, that must be what makes them confident, or that's what I like about them, and all those kind of things. Because if you were to bunch every single person together that's confident, you're going to find that they're all different. They're all different, but at the end of the day, they're authentically themselves, and that's what is giving them their confidence. But just remember that, is that when you're looking at confidence, you need to define what confidence means for you, and work on having those traits, as opposed to, going on social media and seeing some girl that's really confident because she gets on there and talks about, like intimate details about what her and her partner do on the weekend, or like in the bedroom or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just like, yeah, she may be super confident, but that may not be your confident kind of vibe. And that's where, at the end of the day, the broader picture of this is that confidence comes from just being yourself and just being authentic. And this is in line with my next point, is that comparison is not only the thief of joy, but it's the thief of identity. So, like I've just said to you, is that when we're looking at defining how we believe confidence is, it's not about measuring it up against anybody else. And it's not about copying or trying to be anybody else. Because, like I've said to you, confidence is about being authentic, being yourself, accepting yourself as you are, and showing up as that version of you is the most confident fucking thing you can do. You can take the action and act like a confident person all day, but that's not going to give you deep, seated confidence within yourself, because you know it's not going to be real. And I think this is the biggest takeaway that I've said it time and time again during this podcast, is that confidence comes from you and solely you. Your confidence is about you, who you are, and how you show up in the world authentically. You can't go and copy and paste confidence off anybody else, because that is not going to work for you or anybody. Now, leading on from that, is that confidence is something that people that are confident still have fear. There's no, and I really wish that we would all, like, it really gives me the shits that We live in a world where you define yourself a lot of the time by what you see on social media. And remember that there's about 1% of people that are on social media that are creating content, doing those things. But it's like when you have nowhere else to buy your understanding of what confidence is that you turn to the place that you spend the most time, and that would be on social media. And depending on who you follow or what you're into, you're gonna see a difference. It's like if I was to ask a 16-year-old boy what confidence means to him, I'm sure he's going to give me an answer that's based very heavily on his algorithm, on what he's following. You know what I'm saying? And that goes for all of us, is that what you allow into your world, into your realm, is what is going to define for you what you believe that is. And it can be really hard for us to separate the fact that when you're online and you see somebody showing up as super confident, you know what I mean? They've got it all going on and they're telling you like, you do this, you act like this, and all you got to do is say this or stand like this or blah, 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 and you're going to be confident. It's just like those people also have fear as well. Those people also experience moments of not having confidence in themselves. We all do. Like, you go and listen to Tony Robbins talk, or, somebody like that just oozes confidence, and you will hear them say, I've listened to podcasts where, he's talked about the fact that he has self-doubt sometimes too. But overall, he has the energy and he has the confidence within himself because he shows up truly as he is, and he portrays himself to be exactly who he is, and people accept that of him. And look, it's great that people accept that of him, but I'm sure not every single person likes him. It's just like, I want you to think about the most confident person that you know personally, not somebody that you know on social media, not somebody that you follow. I want you to think about the most confident person that you know and have a think about what are the traits that they have that you believe makes them appear confident or gives them that confidence. Think about those. Because mine would be my partner. He is super confident. And the things that make him confident is that, one, he's mature. He's been through a lot of things in life and he's had a lot of life experience. The older that you get, I feel you get more confident. Like 20-year-old me had a delusional kind of a confidence within myself, but you know what I mean? I'm 34 now and I look back on things and I'm like, no, I didn't used to be confident. No, I wasn't confident in my abilities. I couldn't stick up for myself. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to advocate for myself, but you ask me that now and I'm like, yeah, I do. But I had that come with age and with maturity. It's that he makes quick decisions. He knows what he wants. And when he decides that he wants something, he just goes and does it. He gets it done. I think there is no better way to reiterate confidence within yourself than being quick. Making quick decisions. When you say you're going to do something, do it. Those are the traits that he oozes that I look at and I'm like, wow, that is, for me, what defines confidence, is that being 100% happy with who you are, not worrying about what other people think of you, showing up exactly how you want to every single day, just being yourself. Like, you obviously know that you got to choose your audience. You probably can't go into your 9-to-5 job and start, dropping F-bombs and like acting like you do when you're at home. But at the end of the day, you still have the confidence within yourself as the person that you are in your settings where you feel comfortable to show up and be yourself. There's obviously a layer to it as well. You know what I mean? But that is what confidence allows you to understand as well. So think about the traits that you see in the most confident person that you know. And then tell me, do you have those traits? Are they something that you tell yourself, oh, I don't have that? But do you have those things? Because second guessing yourself is just another mental layer to get rid of. Stop thinking about it. Just do it. That's what they always say. It's just like, we are not designed to be waiting for something to come to us. You're not going to one day wake up and be like, bam, I'm a confident person. and then just start walking and talking, being all confident. You know what I mean? Just go and do the thing. If you get up and you say to yourself, I am going to be confident as fuck today. I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm going to stick up for myself. I'm going to show up as I truly am. I guarantee you start moving in that energy. You start acting like that person. It's just going to be like, this is who I am now. And this is how it's going to work out for you. This is my take on it. And my final thought would be is that shrinking is something that I believe has probably come, it's something that we've all had throughout our lives, mostly from your childhood, and you've probably carried it through your entire life, and that's shrinking, and this is about being authentically yourself, is that I'm sure in your life you've had examples or times or situations where you've been yourself and then people have been like, ugh, or you know what I mean? You've had that negative reaction from being yourself, and then you've been like, oh, I can't act like that anymore because people don't like me. And then it's a protective mechanism that we teach ourselves where you believe, oh, this is the standard that society has, like, but you think about that person that judged you when you were acting or being yourself. Who is that person? Who is that person? Because that person would only be judging you because they're looking at you, seeing a trait that they don't have within themselves, and they're judging you for having that. Like what we talked about earlier. So when you think about somebody criticizing you or putting you down for being exactly who you are, good luck to them. Good luck to them, because they are never going, I can't sit here and say never because that's silly. But then they're obviously in a position where they see something in you that they feel that they do not have within themselves. So just remember that when somebody judges you, don't shrink. The more you are yourself, the more confident you're going to be. And you'll get to a point where you're like, oh, I don't care anymore. This is who I am. Like, if you don't like it, I don't care. I don't want somebody that doesn't like who I am at my core around me anyway. I'm not going to like you. So, you know what I mean? Just remember that one of the most confident things that you can do for yourself is realizing that not everybody is going to like you, and that is okay. Because guess what? Like I said to you earlier, there is people that I see out in the world that are super confident that I may not like that person, but that trait that they have, the confidence, I respect that in them a lot. And there is a difference between having somebody like you and having somebody respect you. Not everybody has to like you, but everybody should respect you. And I know, and tell me if you are the same, that if you see somebody that's confident and is authentic themselves, I respect that so much. Like, you're walking down the street and you just see some old person and they've just, they don't care. They will literally just walk up to you and tell you a story about their day. And you know that in that moment they are being authentically themselves. That is I have so much respect for somebody like that. When you see people online that are being authentically themselves, that are opening up about their issues or their problems, or where you see people that are on social media talking about their mental health battles or just any battle that they are having in their life, which touches us on a deeper emotional level, you have so much respect for that person because that person is being authentically themselves. You don't watch a reel on social media where somebody's putting somebody else down and you say, oh, I have so much respect for that person. No, you don't. You have respect for people that show up authentically as themselves. And that is my biggest takeaway that I hope you take from this today, is that not everybody has to like you, but if you are authentically yourself, people will respect you. But at the end of the day, confidence is about respecting yourself. Respecting yourself, respecting who you are on the inside. And when you realize that and you start to recognize that the only person that you need to make proud in this world is you, then confidence will come naturally to you because you have nobody else to look after. Look after yourself. Be confident. Be authentic. Show up as yourself. If people judge you, just remember they're lacking something that you have. So that is my episode for today. I feel really good after I did this episode with you guys. I feel confident. So I hope that you have listened to this episode and it's made you feel more confident. Thank you for listening to Girls Who Get It. I'm your host, Memphis. I will be back next Thursday with a new episode. And just remember, I'm not an influencer. I am a human being, and so are you. Love yous.